Was this a difficult decision for you?
Not really. I love this job. I think we've made a difference. Memphis has momentum, and I think we've had a big part in that. But we have still a lot of work to do, and I think we're capable of handling it.
Do you look upon this job any differently than you did 4 years ago?
That's a good question. No, not necessarily, but it's a tough job. It's a 7-day-a-week job. Our city is very big geographically, 340 square miles, and the public expects you to be at all their events, or at least most of them, and that's why it's a 7-day-a-week job. It's a sprint every single day with a lot of responsibility, but that's what makes it so great. It is the best job in Memphis, and I can see why mayors across the country say they love being mayor. Senator Corker, who's just retired from the Senate, said to me one time that being mayor of Chattanooga was his favorite job of all.
When the economy fell down, what do you think's changed in the last few years, which just got the momentum going, like you say?
Well, I think it's in large part because of our administration that government does not create jobs. We don't create development dollars. What we do is make a city so that private developers want to come here and expand their businesses. We improve the quality of life, so we're paving more streets, hiring more police officers, answering 911 calls better, running a more efficient government, and teaming with the private sector to grow their base. I think keeping Service Master at the beginning of my term as mayor was a big win for Memphis, keeping those 1,200 jobs, and then we've just grown it from there. Just recently, Mimeo and Indigo Ag, together that's 1,000 new jobs. St. Jude's expanding by 1,800 jobs. Amazon Warehouse, 1,500 new jobs at paying $15 an hour. So it's just, momentum builds on momentum, and that's why I think we've got to keep this going. And yeah.
It's also something that shows that when they do this, isn't this a shot of like, we have confidence in this city and its leadership and the confidence of where it's going?
I really felt 4 years ago when I ran that people did not have confidence in Memphis. I do think to a large degree we've turned that around. Now we have a lot more work to do. There's things that are, the violent crime rate is too high, the educational achievement's too low, our poverty is too high. Now we're making a little progress, but we can't lose that momentum. We can't go back, and we got to really push forward on those things. And I think we've set in place a plan to hire more police officers, prosecute more violent criminals, give young people something productive to do when they're not in school, grow the job base, and give people real second chances when they've stumbled in their lives. If we stay on this track, we will drive down violent crime.
You talk about the crime, and I know that was your key issue when you ran 4 years ago. So when you look at that, would anyone be wrong if they said you failed on that so far?
No, I don't think we've completed it. I think most people understand that to truly drive down violent crime, which has been a problem in Memphis for decades, is going to take some time to turn around. Plus, we'd hit an all-time low in the number of police officers we had. Shortly after I got elected, we'd gotten down to close to 1,900 officers. We're now at 2,000. Later this year, we'll be at 2,100 officers. We are on pace to get to 2,300 officers by 2020, which is what my stated goal was, and that just takes time. But we've hired 400 new officers and 300 new firefighters since we've been in office. We've had, last year in 2017, 2 years ago, 2017 was the first year in 7 years where we hired more police officers than left. And now we've done it 2 years in a row, 2017 and 2018. And 2019 will even build on that.
I've often said, and often heard said, that until Memphis gets out of the top 10 on the FBI's most dangerous cities list, then maybe we can start talking a little bit about success in crime. Is that accurate to you?
I don't know if that's the measurement of success, but that's certainly where we're aiming. But we have to do all these things. It's not just, but we have to rebuild the police department. And like I said, we've gotten to a dangerously low number of police officers. But just doing that alone isn't going to do it. We have to really intervene in the lives of young people if we want a true long-term solution to crime. A young person picking the right path and not the wrong path, that's the key. So that's why we've increased the number of summer jobs by 50%, with 75% increase coming this summer. We've increased the number of teenagers involved in our library programs by 50%. We've made our spring break camps free. We've put literacy training in those spring break camps. For decades, this city did not have city personnel working in our parks with young people. Older Memphians tell me how much they enjoyed going to the park when they were a little child, working with city employees. It's been gone for decades. We brought it back last summer, and we're going to do it again this summer and try to expand it. We've got to take care of more of our young people and get them on that right path. We've made tremendous strides, but we can't give up now.
So you're talking a long-term
Absolutely.
plan there, and a short-term plan as far as getting more officers on the streets.
Yeah, the short term is getting more officers out on the streets, in which we're hiring more, we're retaining more. We're going to get to 2,100 officers this year, which we probably haven't been at in a long time. We're also doing little things like reducing the number of false alarms. 99% of our false alarms are false. 99% of our alarms are false. We've decreased those false alarms by 18%, which means police officers don't have to waste their time. They can be out on the streets more. We've also greatly increased our prosecutions of violent criminals. We've teamed with the DA's office and the U.S. Attorney's office, and I think the U.S. Attorney's office has increased their prosecutions of illegal use of guns by over 50%, because we got to send a message. If you choose violence, you're choosing jail.
It sent a different message, though, in this past year, didn't it, with the homicide rate actually going up
Yeah.
than it did the year before.
Yeah, the homicide rate went up, but the violent crime rate overall went down. And so we just got to keep working. And even though the violent crime rate went down, we're not declaring mission accomplished by far. We got to drive it significantly lower. But we can't give up what we're doing. We have to keep going after those people who use guns illegally. We have to keep putting more police officers out on the streets. We also have to get people jobs and job training and alternatives to crime. And we're working on both, and we've had success on both. And I'm just asking for another 4 years to build on that and really work on driving that violent crime rate down.
You got one opponent so far, and it's
Yes,
the
sir.
former mayor. Were you surprised by him jumping into the race?
I was surprised, but I respect Mayor Harrington and what he's meant to this community. But we're going to run our own race. We're going to run it on our record and our plans for the future. And I feel confident that we've done a good job, and our vision for the future is strong.
Would you be willing to debate him?
Oh, sure. We'll probably have 1 or 2 televised debates, and I think that's a good thing to do. But we're going to also be very active in the community. I guarantee you I will personally knock on more doors than anyone running for mayor.
So you're going to run like it's the first time you've ever run
Absolutely.
for
I'm going
office?
back to my city council days where I knocked the heck out of doors, and because this is going to be a grassroots campaign where I go out and directly talk to the voters.
When you go out and meet people in this city, as a city councilman and as a lawyer, sometimes you meet you talk with a lot of constituents in the city council, but now you're out there with everybody.
Everyone.
What's your feeling of the city? Has it changed?
I do. I think people are more optimistic about our future in just these three years. They see the momentum that we're having. They see the new jobs. They see activities for young people. They see the $15 billion in development going on. They literally see some cranes in the sky. They see redeveloped historical buildings and a movement in this town, an optimism. But they're also agree with me that every neighborhood deserves to feel the positive impact of our economic prosperity. And that's what I look forward to in the second term. Based on our Memphis 3.0 plan, it gives us a blueprint, because we know that East Memphis and Midtown and downtown and certain parts of other cities are doing really well, but we've got to make sure that Westwood and South Memphis and Frazier and Whitehaven and Hickory Hill feel that too. And that's what brings me optimism and hope and energy for the second term.
Were you brilliant at the basics in your first 4 years?
We certainly strove to be brilliant at the basics. I always admitted we weren't going to be perfect, but we strove to be brilliant at the basics. We fixed 911 answer times. The waiting time was an average of a minute before I took office. We've gotten it under 10 seconds. We fixed the animal shelter. Before I was mayor, there were all kinds of news stories about how awful the animal shelter was. The only stories now we're one of the top 5 in the country. We're paving twice as many streets as we were before. Now, I know people don't feel it because I talk to people. I understand they're frustrated about the roads. But what I try to explain to them was we've literally doubled the budget, and it's going to take us a while to catch up to the backlog that was created. It's just like police hiring. It takes a while to turn that big boat around, and because we don't have unlimited money. But we took the paving budget from $9 million to almost $20 million. And I want to do more of that.
You've done that without a tax increase too, though.
And there's been no tax increase, and in fact, the tax rate has gone down. And because I do believe that one of the reasons we've lost population over the years is because of our relatively high property tax rate. So we've got to continue to try to squeeze every dollar that we can.
Tell me about your future. What are you looking for as in next, if you're re-elected again? What do you
Personally?
For the city and
for the city.
Your goals?
I think we're going to talk to the public about over the next 8 or 9 months is that we have momentum, but we need to continue it. We got to we've created 18,000 new jobs, but we're not finished. I want to create more and more jobs to give people more opportunities. The state has given us free job training opportunities. I'm the biggest cheerleader. We have a road to success in Memphis. Memphis is an opportunity city. It really is. And we're starting to get that message across. I want to continue to get that. Free community college, free tech schools. Continue to make this city safer. I've met with victims of crime. I've met with parents of young people who've been murdered. It drives me to do even better in the future because I feel like if we stay working our crime plan and we can drastically reduce the level of violent crime, then this city will grow even more because we have momentum, and that really is a key to continue that momentum.
You're pretty excited about it.
Oh, I'm excited. I love this job. It's the best job there is. And I feel proud of the work we've done. And I think our administration deserves a second term, and I hope the voters agree with me. But I'm going to talk to them one-on-one.
Good spot. Hold on real quick here as I take a few shots of this. It's